The quantum burst arrived like a ghost, slipping through the vast emptiness of space with a whisper that could shatter worlds. Most listening posts across the galaxy would have dismissed it as cosmic static, a meaningless flutter of electromagnetic noise. But not Earth's stations, not the ones built by a species that had learned to listen to the universe's most subtle languages. Deep within the Hawking Deep Space Monitoring Complex, buried beneath the volcanic mountains of New Zealand, Captain Maya Rice caught the first tremor of the impossible. Her fingers, mapped with scars from a dozen extreme environment missions, hovered above the holographic display. Each subtle harmonic wave told a story that no civilization had ever lived to translate. The station was a marvel of human engineering, part research facility, part military outpost, part quantum listening device. Designed to catch what others missed, it hummed with a low-frequency energy that seemed to breathe with anticipation. Maya had spent 15 years here, watching the darkness between stars, collecting fragments of cosmic conversations that most species would never understand. Increase gain on quantum harmonics, she called out, her voice steady despite the electrical charge building in the air. Around her, a team of researchers moved with the precision of surgeons, each touch on their interfaces sending ripples of data across multiple analysis systems. Dr. Kai Rodriguez, the station's lead quantum linguist, leaned forward, his eyes, augmented with neural interfaces that allowed direct data interpretation, began to flicker with an intensity that Maya recognized. It was the look of someone seeing something impossible. "Captain," he said, his voice barely a whisper, "this isn't just a signal. It's a signature." The holographic display exploded with color. Quantum threads intertwined, creating a complex tapestry that looked more like living art than any communication protocol known to science. It carried the genetic markers of multiple civilizations, not just one, but a collective cry that suggested something far more terrifying than a simple distress call. A young technician burst through the reinforced doors, her environmental suit still steaming from decontamination. "Captain Reyes, the signal, it's fragmenting and reforming faster than our systems can track." Maya's reputation wasn't built on panic. She was known throughout the International Space Services as the person who remained calm when the universe decided to break its own rules. Her team was carefully selected, not just for their technical brilliance, but for their ability to see opportunity in chaos. "Maintain quantum coherence," she commanded. "I want every microfluctuation recorded. Something wants to be heard." The station's systems began to strain. Quantum processors that could typically handle multiple-dimensional calculations started to heat up, pushing against the very limits of computational physics. This was no ordinary transmission. This was a message that seemed to be alive, changing, evolving with each millisecond of interpretation. Dr. Rodriguez's augmented eyes were now fully dilated, neural interfaces working overtime. "It's a funeral cry," he said suddenly, "but not just from one species, from entire civilizations." Maya's smile was predatory, the expression of a species that had survived a planet trying to kill it for millennia. Where others saw an incomprehensible threat, she saw a challenge waiting to be understood. "Then," she said, her voice cutting through the rising tension, "we're going to make sure it's not the final chapter." The impossible signal continued to dance, waiting to be deciphered by the only species in the galaxy crazy enough to try. The diplomatic transmission arrived encrypted in layers so complex that it took 3 separate quantum decryption teams to fully unravel its contents. When the final layer dissolved, the truth emerged like a nightmare given form. Dr. Elena Chen sat in the primary analysis chamber, surrounded by holographic projections that painted a terrifying picture of galactic extinction. Her team had seen impossible things before, but this was different. This was the documented death of civilization itself. The convergence, a network of species so advanced they could manipulate entire star systems, was being systematically erased from existence, not destroyed, not conquered, erased, as if they had never existed in the first place. Holographic reports flickered to life, each one more horrifying than the last. The Zorn Collective's final transmission showed an entire stellar cluster simply vanishing. No explosion, no radiation burst, just absolute nullification. The Ctheri Empiroscape disappeared mid-communication, their billion-year civilization reduced to a quantum echo that was rapidly fading. "It's not a weapon," Elena muttered, her fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. "Weapons leave traces. This is something else entirely." Around her, the most brilliant minds humanity had ever assembled worked with a fury that bordered on controlled madness. Quantum physicists stood shoulder to shoulder with xenobiologists. Former military strategists shared data with neural network specialists. They were hunting for a pattern in pure chaos. Ambassador Richard Kimura arrived, bringing physical copies of transmissions from the remaining galactic diplomatic corps. His face told a story of sleepless nights and impossible decisions. "The Galactic Council is fracturing," he reported. "Species that have been diplomatic rivals for millennia are now begging for any possible solution." Elena's primary analysis board showed the progression of the cosmic dissolution. It moved like a living thing, consuming entire civilizations with a methodical precision that defied understanding. Star systems simply winked out of existence, their entire historical record dissolving as if they were nothing more than temporary illusions. "We're looking at it wrong," she said suddenly, causing the entire room to fall silent. Her assistant, Dr. Marcus Wong, raised an eyebrow. "Explain." "Every analysis is treating this like a destructive force," Elena continued. Her fingers pulled apart the holographic data, revealing hidden layers. "But what if it's not destruction? What if it's something else entirely?" The room held its breath. Humanity had always been different. Where other species saw impossible barriers, humans saw challenges waiting to be solved. The diplomatic transmissions continued to arrive. The Quorum Collective's final message was a mathematical cry for help, complex equations that seemed to beg for understanding rather than rescue. The Stellar Accord's transmission was more direct. They were willing to share every piece of technological and scientific knowledge they possessed. "We're the only uncontacted major species," Ambassador Kimura said quietly. "Everyone else has already fallen." Elena's eyes gleamed with a combination of scientific curiosity and something deeper, the human spirit that had survived an impossibly hostile planet. "Then we'd better be ready." The dissolution was moving. Slowly, methodically, consuming everything in its path. And humanity was the only species that seemed willing to do more than just watch. "I need more data," Elena announced. "And I need it now." Outside the analysis chamber, the first prototype ships were already being prepared. Humanity was going to investigate this cosmic phenomenon, regardless of the risk. Not out of heroism, not out of some grand altruistic mission. Simply because that was what humans did. They looked into the impossible and saw an opportunity. The research complex stretched across the most unforgiving terrain on Mars, a testament to human determination. Carved into the base of Olympus Mons, the facility represented humanity's most ambitious scientific endeavor, a crucible of innovation born from generations of survival. Dr. Miranda Santos stood before a holographic projection of Earth's evolutionary history. Her team wasn't just studying the cosmic dissolution. They were understanding it through the lens of a species that had survived everything a planet could throw at them. "Look," she said, highlighting millions of years of human ancestral survival. "We're not just another technological civilization. We're the product of the most brutal survival school in the galaxy." The Alien Research Committee, observing via quantum communication, watched in stunned silence. Human researchers approached the cosmic dissolution from angles no sophisticated alien algorithm could comprehend. They didn't just analyze data. They interrogated it. Each team member brought a unique perspective shaped by humanity's harsh evolutionary background. Marcus Rice, a volcanic zone geologist, saw patterns in the dissolution that reminded him of magma flow dynamics. Dr. Aisha Kaur, an extreme climate researcher, recognized subtle rhythms that echoed the complex interactions of Earth's most violent ecosystems. The dissolution isn't random, Marcus explained, his fingers dancing across quantum interfaces. It's following a pattern. Not a destruction pattern. A transformation pattern. Overhead, massive holographic displays showed the progression of the cosmic phenomenon. Where alien scientists saw impenetrable chaos, human intuition saw something else entirely, a complex system waiting to be understood. The Zorn diplomatic observer, a crystalline being of supposedly superior intelligence, watched in growing disbelief. A human researcher was literally taking apart their most advanced simulation, rebuilding it with an intuitive approach that defied conventional scientific method. They're not solving the problem, the Zorn diplomat whispered to his colleague. They're reimagining what a problem can be. Miranda's presentation continued, tracing humanity's evolutionary journey. They came from a planet that tried to kill them every single day. Extreme temperatures, volcanic eruptions, predators that hunted in complex ecological networks, diseases that evolved faster than medical technology. Earth was a crucible that forged a species of ultimate survivors. Our entire civilization is built on adaptation, she told the alien observers. We don't just survive, we transform. The research team worked with a fury that bordered on obsession. They pulled apart every piece of data about the cosmic dissolution, examining it from perspectives no other species would consider. A marine biologist brought insights from deep-sea ecosystem survival. A quantum physicist who grew up in the harshest Martian colonies saw computational patterns that others missed. Dr. Kaur discovered something profound. The dissolution wasn't destroying civilizations. It was moving them, transforming them. But to where? And why? We need a different approach, Miranda announced. The room fell silent. When a human researcher said those words, it meant something revolutionary was coming. The alien observers leaned closer. Humanity had always been the wild card of the galaxy, a species that refused to follow any known rules of scientific or evolutionary progression. Outside the research complex, the first prototype vessels were being prepared, not standard spacecraft, but living systems that could adapt as rapidly as the human mind could imagine. The cosmic dissolution was moving, consuming everything in its path. Humanity was ready to have a conversation with the impossible. The prototype vessel looked nothing like traditional spacecraft. It was a living system, a testament to humanity's most radical approach to survival and exploration. Captain Rice walked the length of the ship, her fingers tracing organic mechanical hybrid systems that could reconfigure themselves faster than most species could think. Each component was a marvel of adaptive engineering, inspired by Earth's most extreme ecosystems, designed to survive the impossible. Dr. Elena Chen stood at the primary interface, her neural links dancing with the ship's quantum processors. We're not building a weapon, she explained to the alien observers watching via quantum transmission. We're creating a universal translator for cosmic language. The ship's core was unlike anything in galactic records. Adaptive shield systems drew inspiration from deep-sea coral reefs, capable of instant restructuring under extreme pressure. Propulsion systems mimicked the muscle contractions of deep-ocean creatures, providing movement that defied traditional physics. Chief Engineer Kai Rodriguez activated the first full system test. The ship's external skin began to shift, microscopic structures realigning in patterns that seemed almost alive. It's not just a ship, he muttered. It's a living organism. Surrounding the primary vessel, a support fleet of equally unconventional craft waited. Each was a unique solution to a problem no one else had dared to approach. One vessel used magnetic field manipulations inspired by magnetotactic bacteria. Another employed quantum entanglement principles, drawn from the complex communication networks of fungal root systems. The Alien Research Committee watched in growing unease. This wasn't technology. This was something else entirely. Captain Rice assembled her crew, a collection of individuals that defied traditional military or scientific classifications. a deep-sea researcher who had mapped the most extreme underwater environments on Earth, a volcanic zone geologist who understood systems under impossible stress, a quantum mathematician who grew up in the harshest Martian colonies. "We're going to do more than survive," she told her crew during the final briefing. "We're going to understand." The ship's neural interface came alive, a complex network that blurred the line between organic consciousness and technological system. Each crew member became part of a living, breathing computational matrix that could adapt faster than any known intelligence. Dr. Chen's final modifications were revolutionary. The ship didn't just carry scientific equipment. It was scientific equipment. Every system could learn, adapt, and transform in real time. "The dissolution isn't something we fight," she explained to the stunned alien observers. "It's something we communicate with." Final system checks revealed capabilities that defied existing scientific understanding. The ship could potentially read quantum signatures at a level no previous civilization had achieved. It could interpret cosmic events as a language, not just a physical phenomenon. The support teams worked with a fury that bordered on religious dedication. These were not just engineers and scientists. They were the descendants of a species that had survived the most hostile planet in the known galaxy. As launch preparations completed, the alien observers made a collective realization. This wasn't just a mission of exploration or survival. This was humanity preparing to have a conversation with the fundamental nature of existence itself. Captain Rice looked out at the vast darkness of space, a predator's smile playing across her lips. "Let's go talk to the universe," she said simply. The impossible weapon was ready. The United Species Collaborative Assembly looked more like a battlefield than a diplomatic meeting. Representatives from the remaining galactic civilizations sat in tense formation, their most advanced technologies laid bare before humanity's research team. Dr. Elena Chen moved between holographic displays, her movements deliberate and precise. "We're not asking for your technology," she announced. "We're integrating it." The statement hung in the air like a challenge. Zorn energy manipulation systems became the neural network's peripheral processors. Ctheri adaptive material sciences transformed the ship's external structure. Quorum quantum communication networks became the vessel's sensory input channels. But each technology was fundamentally reimagined through a human lens, not just adopted, but completely transformed. Chief Engineer Kai Rodriguez demonstrated their approach with a series of rapid simulations, where alien engineers saw rigid systems, humans saw flexible opportunities. A Ctheri materials expert watched in stunned silence as Rodriguez dismantled and rebuilt their most advanced energy transfer technology in less than 17 minutes. "Your technology is beautiful," he told the alien representatives, "but it's been thinking in the same direction for too long." The collaborative effort was unlike any scientific endeavor in galactic history. Researchers from dozen species worked side by side, but it was the human team that provided the fundamental framework. They didn't just modify alien technologies, they reimagined them entirely. Coral reef adaptive mechanisms influenced shield designs. Deep-sea thermal vent ecosystem strategies informed energy distribution networks. Extreme environment survival techniques became the core of their computational matrix. An elder quorum diplomat leaned forward, his crystalline form flickering with intense curiosity. "You're not solving the problem," he observed. "You're redefining what a problem can be." Dr. Miranda Santos led a team that was breaking down the fundamental assumptions of cosmic interaction. Where previous civilizations saw the dissolution as a destructive force, humans saw a complex system waiting to be understood. "It's a language," she explained during a critical briefing. "Not a weapon. Not a natural phenomenon. A communication method we haven't learned to read yet." The ship's final design was a marvel that defied conventional understanding. Organic mechanical hybrid systems that could reconfigure themselves faster than most species could comprehend. Neural interfaces that blurred the line between biological consciousness and technological system. Alien research teams watched in growing mixture of terror and fascination. Humanity wasn't just preparing to confront the cosmic dissolution. They were preparing to have a conversation with it. Dr. Chen's final modifications pushed the boundaries of scientific understanding. The ship became more than a vessel. It became a living translation matrix, capable of interpreting cosmic events as a complex, nuanced language. "We're not going to stop it," she told the assembled representatives. "We're going to understand it." The support teams worked with a dedication that bordered on obsession. These were not just engineers and scientists. They were the descendants of a species that had survived the most hostile planet in the known galaxy. As final preparations completed, the alien observers made a collective realization. This wasn't just a mission of exploration or survival. This was humanity preparing to rewrite the fundamental rules of cosmic interaction. Captain Maya Rice stood at the center of this impossible collaboration, a predator's smile playing across her lips, ready to have a conversation with the universe. She asked simply. The impossible was about to become possible. The moment of confrontation defied every known principle of cosmic interaction. Humanity's vessel didn't just approach the dissolution, it danced with it. Quantum tendrils of pure transformation reached out, probing, testing. Captain Maya Rice guided the ship like a living creature, her consciousness interfacing directly with systems that blurred the line between technology and sentience. "Talk to me," she whispered to the cosmic phenomenon. And incredibly, it began to listen. The ship's neural network expanded beyond anything previously conceived. Each quantum interaction became a word, each energy fluctuation a sentence in a language no species had ever understood. Dr. Elena Chen watched from the primary analysis chamber, her neural interfaces burning with the intensity of 1,000 computational matrices. "It's communicating," she breathed. "Not attacking. Communicating." The dissolution moved differently now. Where it had consumed entire civilizations, it now seemed to pause, hesitate, interact. Alien observation teams across multiple communication channels watched in absolute silence. The human vessel moved through the cosmic phenomenon like a living organism, its adaptive systems reconfiguring faster than thought, interpreting energy patterns that previous civilizations would have considered pure chaos. Chief Engineer Kai Rodriguez managed the ship's quantum interfaces. Each system responded to the cosmic dissolution like a living membrane, absorbing, interpreting, transforming. Zorn energy manipulation technologies integrated with Cathari adaptive materials created a responsive network that seemed to breathe with the universe itself. "We're not fighting," Rodriguez explained to the stunned alien observers. "We're translating." The ship's external structure shifted constantly. Microscopic adaptive systems responded to quantum fluctuations, creating patterns that were part communication, part survival strategy. Where other vessels would have been destroyed, this human creation was having a conversation. Captain Rice felt the universe differently. Her neural interfaces allowed her to perceive the dissolution not as a threat, but as a complex system of information. Each quantum interaction became a word, each energy fluctuation a sentence in a language of pure existence. Dr. Miranda Santos monitored the broader implications. The dissolution wasn't destroying civilizations. It was moving them, transforming them. But to where? And why? The Alien Research Committee watched their most sophisticated monitoring systems struggle to comprehend what was happening. Humanity wasn't just surviving. They were understanding. Quantum communication networks lit up with impossible data. The human vessel was doing something no previous civilization had achieved. It was reading the fundamental language of cosmic transformation. It's not destruction, Dr. Chen realized suddenly. It's evolution. The ship moved deeper into the dissolution, its adaptive systems creating a living translation matrix. Each moment revealed more complexity, more nuance. The cosmic phenomenon that had consumed entire civilizations was now engaged in a dialogue. Alien diplomatic channels buzzed with growing excitement and terror. This wasn't a mission of exploration or survival anymore. This was a fundamental reimagining of cosmic interaction. Captain Rice smiled. Humanity had always been different. Where other species saw barriers, they saw opportunities. Where others saw destruction, they saw a conversation waiting to happen. "We're listening," she told the universe. And the universe, for the first time, seemed to listen back. The impossible was becoming possible. Humanity didn't just survive the dissolution. They transformed it. Entire star systems that would have been erased began to shift, their fundamental structures not destroyed but reorganized. It was less a battle and more a negotiation with the very fabric of reality. Dr. Elena Chen stood at the primary observation point, her neural interfaces burning with the intensity of 1,000 computational matrices. The cosmic dissolution was revealing itself as something far more complex than any previous civilization had imagined. "We're not destroying," she explained to the stunned alien observers. "We're translating." The transformation happened in layers. Quantum systems that had consumed entire civilizations now began to restructure themselves. Where before there was absolute erasure, now there was movement. Adaptation. A cosmic reorganization that defied every known principle of physics. Chief Engineer Kai Rodriguez managed the ship's most critical interfaces. Each system responded to the cosmic phenomenon like a living membrane, absorbing, interpreting, transforming. Zorn energy manipulation technologies integrated with Cathari adaptive materials created a responsive network that seemed to breathe with the universe itself. Captain Maya Reyes guided the vessel through impossible landscapes of quantum potential. Her consciousness interfaced directly with systems that blurred the line between technology and pure information. She wasn't just navigating. She was communicating. Alien research teams watched their most sophisticated monitoring systems struggle to comprehend the impossible. Humanity was doing more than surviving. They were understanding the fundamental language of cosmic existence. Star systems that would have been completely erased now hung in delicate quantum balance. Civilizations that would have been totally destroyed found themselves transformed, relocated to potential spaces that defied traditional understanding of space and time. Dr. Miranda Santos discovered something profound. The dissolution wasn't a destructive force. It was a complex system of cosmic communication, a method of universal reorganization that no previous civilization had been able to comprehend. "It's evolution," she told the assembled research teams. "Not destruction. Evolution." The human vessel moved deeper into the phenomenon, its adaptive systems creating a living translation matrix. Each moment revealed more complexity, more nuance. The cosmic transformation that had consumed entire civilizations was now revealing its true nature. Alien diplomatic channels buzzed with a mixture of terror and hope. This wasn't just a mission of exploration anymore. This was a fundamental reimagining of cosmic interaction. Quantum communication networks lit up with impossible data. The human vessel was doing something no previous civilization had achieved. It was reading the fundamental language of universal transformation. Entire civilizations found themselves in new configurations, not destroyed, not conquered, transformed, relocated to potential spaces that existed between what was and what could be. Captain Reyes understood something fundamental. Humanity had always been different. Where other species saw barriers, they saw opportunities. Where others saw destruction, they saw a conversation waiting to happen. "We're listening," she told the universe. And the universe, for the first time, seemed to listen back. The impossible was becoming possible. When the final quantum waves settled, the galaxy looked different. Not broken, not defeated, transformed. The remaining civilizations gathered in a quantum conference that transcended traditional space and time. Humanity had done more than save existing civilizations. They had shown that survival wasn't about resistance, but about understanding, about seeing potential where others saw only destruction. Dr. Elena Chen presented the final analysis. The cosmic dissolution wasn't an end. It was a beginning. Entire star systems hung in delicate quantum balance, reorganized but not destroyed. Civilizations that would have been erased now existed in potential spaces that defied traditional understanding. Each was a testament to humanity's unique approach to the impossible. Captain Maya Rice stood before the assembled galactic representatives. Her uniform showed the marks of their incredible journey, patches from a dozen alien civilizations, a living testament to collaborative survival. "We didn't fight," she explained. "We listened." The alien representatives struggled to comprehend the full implications. Humanity had transformed a force of absolute destruction into a method of cosmic communication. Where other civilizations saw an ending, humans had found a new beginning. Dr. Miranda Santos revealed the deeper truth. The dissolution was a method of universal reorganization, a complex system of cosmic evolution that no previous civilization had been able to understand. Humanity's unique evolutionary background, shaped by a planet that tried to kill them every single day, had prepared them for this moment. Chief Engineer Kai Rodriguez demonstrated the technological breakthrough. The ship they had created was more than a vessel. It was a living translation matrix, a method of understanding the fundamental language of universal transformation. Alien research teams study humanity with a mixture of terror and profound respect. These were not just survivors. These were interpreters of the universe's most fundamental processes. The quantum conference became a moment of collective realization. Humanity was not just another species. They were a fundamental force of cosmic resilience. Civilizations that would have been completely erased now existed in potential spaces between what was and what could be. Each was a testament to human adaptability, to the ability to see opportunity in absolute chaos. "We're not conquerors," Dr. Chen explained. "We're translators." The Deathworlders from Earth had shown that true intelligence wasn't about technological superiority. It was about the ability to listen, to understand, to see potential where others saw only destruction. Captain Rice looked out at the assembled representatives. Her smile was both a predator's challenge and an invitation. Humanity had just rewritten the fundamental rules of cosmic interaction. The legend was just beginning. Outside the conference hall, the universe continued its complex dance. But now, it was a dance with a new partner. Humanity had entered the conversation, and the conversation was just getting started.